Hey guys, Magnus Robert here bringing you another video, and today we are doing another Simpsons Tapped Out event idea video, and this one in particular is one that I've had in the works for a while, and it is a Sporty Simpsons event. That's what I'm calling it, the Sporty Simpsons event, but essentially it's a Tap Ball 2. Now, the issue with the Tap Ball 2, or doing a sequel for the update Tap Ball is A, so much time has passed, B, we already have this connection with the Summer Games, like that appears to be the new thing. Obviously, we got the Summer Games mini-event, we had 2 of them. And C is that the structure that the game currently follows is very different to what the Tap Ball structure was. So it sort of doesn't allow to add a lot of stuff compared to what Tap Ball added. I've kind of got a solution to this though. It's not perfect, but I think it's plausible. It's not like they could not do this or they would not do this. Like, they could do this. I guess actually they would not do this is maybe possible, but I don't know. I like to think that it's possible. So you'll see that I have added a lot of characters and a lot of costumes to this one. So let's have a look. So the startup is Quimby tries to get the Summer Games back in Springfield, but the Summer Games chairman refuses after all the things that happened last time. Quimby says, screw that, we'll have our own games this summer. So you make Quimby announce a Springfield sporting event, make Springfielders show off their sporting abilities, that's ×5, and then you will unlock the event. And the 4-act currencies, the first act is baseball bats, the second act is groin cups, the third act is boxing gloves, and the fourth act is black belts. So you can kind of take a guess what 4 sports I'm focusing in on. So there's going to be a Gills deal, and I know that this was in my springy event that I did a few weeks back, but I bear in mind I made this way before I made that springy event. I made that springy event as a meme, and that's something in the Gills deal is going to be Siggy with that place arena. I can't say it. I'm not even going to bother pronouncing it because I'll make a fool out of myself. But you get this arena, which is called this, and I think this would look awesome. Look at how this looks. I just think this would be so cool. And you get Siggy as an NPC. So Siggy may not have been Springfield's mascot, but he found somewhere where he was accepted. So he is the mascot for wherever this country is. And yeah, so he'll just be an NPC. He won't be anything amazing. It'll be 100 donuts, so you just get this cool stadium and Siggy. The main reason why I threw this in here is I couldn't really fit Siggy in anywhere else, so I just had to throw him in the Gills deal, but I wanted to add him to show my love for Siggy. Siggy needs some love, guys, okay? Anyway, Act 1 drops. We're getting the Shelbyville Stadium with Bill McCloskey for 150 donuts. So there's a lot of these Springfield isotopes who are just sort of named, and some have appeared in 2 episodes. I think this one and the other one that I added were both seen in 2 episodes, so that's why I went with them. And also it was a batter and a catcher, so pitcher, whatever you want to call it. Like the guy who catches the balls, and the guy the other guy was seen catching the balls. This guy was seen batting, so I figured that's a nice enough dynamic. But he comes with the Shelbyville Stadium. I know that we've got a lot of stadiums in the game already, and if you're not a fan of stadiums, you're going to hate this update because a lot of the stuff that I add is stadiums, but I like stadiums. I think they're some of the best buildings. They just look awesome. And I figured, why not have the Shelbyville Stadium? He was seen to be playing here, obviously against Shelbyville, so it makes sense. There isn't any major characters, really, from the Shelbyville team, so I figure this one makes enough sense. You get this cool building. It would be like an oval shape, and you'll get to see the audience stands in the pitch, like half of the audience stands in the pitch. So I think this will be a cool building. Moving on. So in the act is called Homer Gets the Bat Back. Homer looks at all the sporting events on offer and decides to try out for the baseball team, but he needs his lucky bat in order to try out. Homer asks Marge where she put it after he restored it, and she tells him that he told her to sell it. So you make Homer search for his lucky bat, make Cookie Kwan apply for the baseball team, make Lenny apply for the baseball team, and make Carl apply for the baseball team. And you also make Springfielders earn baseball bats, and this will unlock Lucky Pawn. The main reason why I kind of threw in Lucky Pawn is A, I wanted something to draw this out, because I had the whole idea like Homer has to find his bat first because he needs that bat, and B, Lucky pawn, lucky bat. Hey, so it's a loose connection, but I don't know. I figured this is just. I just also wanted to sort of show you how they can tie in buildings that aren't exactly connected. Now, I always prefer it if we get buildings that are connected to the theme, but I don't mind it if here and there they sort of loosely tie in something. I'm normally cool with that. Sometimes I will complain about it if I think it's been done poorly, but if it makes sense and they sort of make it make sense in the quest line, I'm normally fine with it. And so this is like an example of how I think that a building like that could be added. So Homer asks the wise guy for his bat back, and Homer has to give over the TV to the horror of the kids. Homer goes to try out for the team captain position, but Cookie is batting hard for the West Side. So you make Cookie bat hard for the West Side, make Homer bat for his life, and make Springfielders earn baseball bats, and this will unlock the baseball field. So we've never actually got like a proper baseball field in the game, and I figured why not actually have like a proper one. I know that there's baseball fields in the stadiums, but I think it'd be cool just to get our own sort of baseball field that we could decorate around. I don't know. I just figured that'd be cool. You know, you could just chuck it behind some fences and you could do a cool little design with it. Maybe behind the school. Neither Cookie or Homer get the position. Rather, Flash Sailor gets it. He's one of the Springfield Isotopes. And Homer is not even on the team, where Cookie obviously does make it. Lenny tells Homer that he needs to be on the team, as his bat will bring them good luck against Shelbyville. So you make Homer be upset about not being on the team, make Lenny sabotage Cookie, make Carl sabotage Cookie, make Cookie bat for the West Side, and make Springfielders earn baseball bats, and this will unlock Flash Baylor. So you get him, there's a full playable character. And this is what I said when I said there's going to be a lot of characters and a lot of costumes, because I've got one character, one costume per act. I know, it's crazy, they probably would never do it, but I don't see why not. I think they can make a really awesome event if they did that. Kent reports that Cookie has been kicked from the team for cutting a deal with Shelbyville to sell houses on their west side instead of Springfield's west side. Such treason meant she was kicked out, and Homer Simpson replaces her. The game is coming up, and Flash Baylor tells Homer to bat as hard as he can. So you make Homer bat as hard as he can, make Flash catch balls, make Lenny catch balls, and make Carl bat as hard as he can. And you make Springfielders earn baseball bats, and this will unlock the Springfield War Memorial Stadium. So this is separate to Springfield Stadium. However, some people argue that they are the same stadium, just with a different name. I don't really know. I mean, I consider this separate. It's got a slightly different design to it. But why not? We could just have another cool stadium. Now, the thing is, I actually don't like the Springfield Stadium that much. I think the way it's like the proportions of it, it's just not great. Whereas like the Isotope Stadium, I love the Isotope Stadium. The proportions on that are so good. It just looks so great. It's the best stadium in the game by far. And I just kind of hope they do something similar with these stadiums. And then finally, the game is locked neck and neck. Springfield needs a home run to win, and Homer is at the bat. Homer tenses up. Flash gives Homer a pep talk, saying that he can do it. Homer bats and wins. Springfield wins, but as they all celebrate, Cookie reveals that Homer's bat was not the right wood, and under some obscure rule of baseball, he and the game is lost by default. So you make Homer be disappointed, make Cookie love the revenge, make Flash be upset at Homer, make Springfielders earn baseball bats, and this will finally unlock Baseball Homer. Such a needed costume for sure. This is like the one costume that I'm surprised they haven't added yet, especially when they did the Marge at the Bat. Like, they did the whole Marge at the Bat tie-in minor event, and they never gave us this costume. It's insane to me. This is such a needed costume, in my opinion. It made sense why it wasn't added in the sport event, because obviously we had other costumes for Homer. That's fine. You know, you can choose other costumes instead of it, but it really should have been added at the Homer at the Bat minor event, so I was really disappointed that it wasn't. So, yeah, I figured why not add it here. Act 2. So this is football, American football, not like what is normal football, like soccer, as Americans call it, which, you know, is just wrong. And football came first, so and it was always been called football. So America, you're just wrong. So we've got Wally Kogan with the Pro Player Stadium for 150 donuts. Like I said, more stadiums, a lot of stadiums. You could call this the stadium event if you wanted. So yeah. Marge encourages Lisa to sign up for one of the many sports, but she doesn't really want to and claims that sports are just not really her thing. But her friend Janie is trying out for the football team. So you make Lisa watch Janie try out, make Janie try out for the football team, make Nelson try out for the football team, and make Springfielders earn groin cups to unlock the Buzz Cola Dome. So this is a bit loosely added. This is probably the most loosely added thing. I just sort of wanted to throw this in because it's a building I definitely want in the game. It's been seen quite a few times and we haven't got it yet, and it does look really cool. Now with the whole like little football statue, that should just be included with the building. I guess that could be added as a separate deco, but I just want it to be one big cool building. Janie and Nelson both make the junior team, and the team goes to verse Waynesport. Nelson is aggressive and Janie is crafty, but they are unable to beat the enemy team and lose their first game. Lisa berates them from the audience. So you make Nelson lose a game, make Janie lose a game, and make Lisa berate the team, and make Springfielders earn groin cups, and this will unlock the football scoreboard. Nothing too amazing, it's just a little scoreboard. But what I thought could be kind of cool about this, you could kind of tap it to change the score. So, like, maybe if you tap on it, you can, like, sort of... I'm trying to think. You could either just, like, tap it and the scores, like, go up. So, like, if you tap the sort of left... I don't know, like, the left side of it, maybe the Springfield thing goes up, or the right side, and the Waynesport one goes up. Or alternatively, it has, like, a little box, and you click it, and you can just set the score. I think that could be a cool little interactive thing, just to make this a bit more interesting, because it's not particularly a interesting decoration. Nelson bullies the Waynesport kids into a rematch and tells his team to be extra aggressive this game, but Janie wants to take a more strategic approach. Lisa, however, says that they've got it all wrong. They should use Nelson as a distraction and use Janie to score a touchdown. So you make Lisa give advice, make Janie get a touchdown, make Nelson distract the team, and make kids play football, and you make Springfielders earn groin cups, and this will unlock Adrian Bello? This shows my understanding of football, of American football. I have very little understanding of American football. I've just kind of thrown you to get like, take the aggressive approach or the strategic approach. I don't really fucking know how these sports work. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just winging it. But there you go. So you got Adrian Bello. So the reason why I threw this character in is because he was seen to be on the Springfield Elementary sport team. So he was on the football team. And that's the reason why I threw him in there. He was on the team, so I figured why not include him. And yeah, I just think he could have I don't understand why we can't throw him in that way. I just think this would be such a cool idea, just to get some like extra kids in the game, or like characters who normally would have very like what other update are we going to get Adrian in? There's very few updates where we could get this type of character in it. And like with Game of Games, how they tied in a lot of the Super Friends, I think this could be a really good idea to tie in characters like Adrian. Like Adrian was seen on the football team, so it's not like it doesn't make any sense. It makes perfect sense. And the reason why I've got him and not like Richard is because I've done like Richard and all these other like kids quite often, so I'm trying to like venture out and do new characters. If I had to pick, I would have Richard here, but you know. And the kid, well, I don't think Richard was on the football team though, so maybe not. The kids win against Waynesport and are now tasked with taking on the Capital City junior team. Lisa gives some more advice, so you make Nelson try Lisa's approach, make Janie take Lisa's approach, make Adrian support his team, and make Lisa watch the game, and make Lisa try out for the team as well. And you also make Springfielders earn groin cups, and this will unlock the Capital City Stadium. So another stadium, I know. This one I think looks really cool. So yeah, we've got the Shelbyville Stadium, we'll have the Capital City Stadium, and the Springfield War Memorial Stadium. A lot of stadiums, I know, and also the Pro Player Stadium. So that's a lot of stadiums. Lisa is ready to join the team, and Nelson and Janie are happy to help her. And they are to verse Shelbyville junior team. But Lisa turns out to be a burden to the team, a massive one. So you make Lisa hand the ball to the wrong team, make Nelson be mad at Lisa, make Janie be mad at Lisa, make Adrian be mad at Lisa, and this will unlock Football Lisa. And at the end, Janie and Nelson tell Lisa to just stick to coaching next time. So not a particularly interesting costume, but like I wanted to have, so it's just her with the dress on, and I think as well she could have the helmet on too. I don't think she puts the helmet on in the episode, but she has it like next to her, so with the helmet on and the jersey, and yeah. I know, not an interesting costume. The main reason why is I wanted to have a football act, and I needed to tie in Lisa. So this is the costume I went with. I had to tie in Lisa with some sport, and it was actually very difficult to find a good sport to tie in Lisa with. So this is what I went for, because I could have alternatively just had another character here, and not a costume, but I have like a costume for every Simpsons each act, so I had to throw it in here. But this is a weak costume, I know. Anyway, Act 3 is a mix. It's kind of MMA and a little bit of boxing. Mostly MMA at the end, but a bit of boxing at the start because I wanted to tie in a few other things. So, MMA/boxing, but we'll just call it the fighting act. Like the fighting act, I don't know. Anyway, you got the Springfield Sports Arena with Chet Engelbrick. I know, too many arenas. Please tell me. So we got this arena, this stadium, this stadium, this stadium, this stadium, and I guess this is a stadium too. And this stadium now. But you get Chet Engelbrick with this for 150 donuts. Moving on. So, after Lisa and Homer's defeat, Marge says that she now has to revive the Simpsons name. She is determined to show that the family are very capable at winning at sports. Marge, however, is very unsure what to do. She asks if chess is still considered a sport. So you make Marge look at sports to play, make Homer inform her what a sport is, and make Springfielders earn boxing gloves, and this will unlock the Springfield Sport Palace. So I wanted to tie this in, that's how I tied it in. It looks really cool though. Springfield Sport Palace, huge. Just looks really awesome, this. It looks like an old factory that's been like converted. Dredrick Tatum asks Marge if he would like to box. She says that she's a little intimidated, she's very intimidated. It's much too violent, but decides to give it a shot. She only gives it a shot when she sees that Helen Lovejoy is trying out for it, and she really wants to show Helen up. So you make Marge train to box, make Helen train to box, make Springfielders earn boxing gloves, and also if you've got Dredrick Tatum, you'll make him train newbies, something like that. And this will unlock the Dredrick. So this is Dredrick Tatum's house. I know that there's like that whole episode, and there's probably better ways to tie in this building, but I needed something to fill the space out, and Dredrick Tatum was involved in this quest line, so hey, there we have the Dredrick. I think this would be an awesome building to have though. Big mansion on top of this sort of big rock. You could get this huge sort of hill. This huge hill with Dredrick's house and this little bendy road, and then you could connect this with your actual roads. I just think it would be really cool. Dredrick is impressed with how the two women... Dredrick thinks Marge and Helen are capable enough to both box and tells them to go 2v1 on his other trainee, Boxcar Bob. So you make Helen fight Bob, make Marge fight Bob, and make Springfielders earn boxing gloves, and this will unlock Boxcar Bob. Yeah, just as a playable character. Obviously, he boxed Homer in the episode where Homer becomes a boxer for a bit, and... he's like a homeless guy, I'm pretty sure, that they just got off the street. Dredrick is impressed with how the two women beat Bob, but Helen argues that she beat him, and Marge argues that she beat him. The two women argue whilst Dredrick backs away. Marge challenges Helen into a boxing match, but Helen one-ups her and says, why don't we fight MMA style instead, to make it more interesting. So you make Marge practice MMA, make Helen practice MMA, make Homer root for his wife, make Lovejoy root for his wife, not food for his wife. That's meant to be root for his wife. I wrote this when I was really tired. Root for his wife. Make Springfielders earn boxing gloves, and this will unlock MMA Octagon. The MMA Octagon. So I know I've complained about the robot arena recently, but they could make this work, and it all comes down to how you design it. But yeah, there you go. I mean, this is on like a stand, right? So I kind of, I'm not even going to argue. It's not a great decoration, I'm not going to lie, but I needed something to throw in there, so there we go. Marge and Helen fight, and they both fight dirty. They hit, they scratch, they bite. Marge and Helen each get the upper hand on each other, and Kent is commenting on this all, but both women suddenly collapse out of exhaustion, and it's considered a draw. So you make Marge collapse, make Helen collapse, make Springfielders earn boxing gloves, and this will unlock MMA Marge as a skin for Marge. I don't know. I think this one would be a cool skin for Marge. I think you could do some really awesome tasks. So, yeah, I like that. I like the idea of that one. And then Act 4 comes along. Act 4 is karate. So you have the... oh, shit. I forgot to change this. So originally it was meant to be the Martial Arts Academy with Cecil Shapiro. And you can see, because I haven't changed it yet, Cecil, whatever it is. Whatever. I changed it though because I wanted to tie in Mr. Ty. Now I know he's not like a karate guy, and it was like he taught Bart like this whole like martial arts thing where he like whoosh, like sort of puts these like door flyers on like this like post, and I wanted to have that animation for Bart's costume, so I thought may as well tie in Mr. Tie with You Tie Now. So I know he's not particularly a sporty person, but there's a loose tie-in in there, and I'm not trying to say he does karate. I know he's not a karate guy, but martial arts, you know, like something similar to karate, I guess. But anyway, so you get Mr. Tie with You Tie Now for 150 donuts. So, dude, where's my master? Oh, did I comment on the question? Boxing to victory, and this one was called Girls Can Do It Too. So, dude, where's my master? So, Marge and Homer pressure Bart to enlist into some sport before the Springfield games end. However, Bart doesn't really want to because he doesn't have any sport he's interested in. Homer and Marge decide to keep pressuring him, though. So, you make Marge pressure Bart, make Homer pressure Bart, make Bart give in to the pressure, and make Bart search for a sport, and make Springfielders earn black belts, and this will unlock the sport palace. This building. So this has just got a bunch of sporting goods. It's in the mall. I sort of tied this in to say that he's looking for sports to be interested in. So yeah, it's sport themed though, so I think it makes sense. Bart tells his parents that he wants to do karate and signs up to do so. Learning that the comic book guy is the champion currently. Bart is determined to beat comic book guy, but Lisa is confused as karate is not like that. But apparently Quimby didn't get the memo, and karate to him involves fighting for belts. So you make Marge ask Akira for training, make kids be trained by Akira, and make Springfielders earn black belts, and this will unlock the Martial Arts Academy. So this is the one that Akira runs. Obviously he also has the Happy Sumo. No. Yeah, is that Happy Sumo? Yeah. He also runs a restaurant, but he has this martial arts academy too. Originally, I was going to have it be premium, but I had like the Shaolin monks as like a crowd, and I really didn't want a crowd. I thought, why not have another building instead? So that's how I threw in the Mr. Tie. And so this originally was going to be my premium item, but I threw it in here. Akira tells Bart that his class is too full, but if he can beat one of his students, then he will train him. So you make Bart take on the Booktooth Boy, make kids watch Bart's karate fight, make Springfielders earn black belts, and this will unlock the Booktooth Boy. Again, he was seen to be in Akira's karate class, and that's the main reason why I've thrown him in there. He's not particularly a great character, he's nothing amazing, he's just a kid who shows up a bunch, and he doesn't even have a name, he's just called the Booktooth Boy. But the Booktooth Boy, he's getting at it, alright? And I'm adding him to my event. Because he was seen in the karate class. Bart asks Akira if he can be trained by him now, as he has beaten the boy, but Akira tells him that he has one more challenge. He also has to discourage the rival karate class in Springfield. Bart goes there and finds Kimiko, training some students, and she tells Bart that she is trying to train a worthy opponent for her husband. Bart is happy to oblige, so you make Bart be trained by Kimiko, make kids be beaten by Bart ×3, and make comic book guy reign as champion. And make Springfielders earn black belts, and this will unlock karate. It's just a karate, training gym place thing in Springfield. It was seen briefly, but I figured why not have two karate places. This is technically a martial arts place, so, it's more vague. Bart is now ready to beat Comic Book Guy and goes up against him. Kent reports it all, so you make Bart beat Comic Book Guy, make Comic Book Guy lose to Bart, make the Booktooth Boy swoop in and beat Bart, and make Springfielders earn black belts. And so this will unlock Karate Bart, and Akira laughs as his student had won. And Bart had betrayed Akira, so his student had swooped in and won. So Bart is defeated by the Booktooth Boy. What a sad way to lose. So you get Karate Bart. I think this could be a really cool costume. I know it appeared in the Butterfinger ads, but no, we've seen Bart like in karate, various different karate places before, karate costumes before. So they could just sort of pick from one of them, combine them. I think this one looks the coolest, so I went with this one. So yeah. So the epilogue is all the Simpsons are upset, they all lost their respected sports. Marge says at the end of the day, it's taking part that counts. So all the Simpsons aren't very happy at that comment. So you make Bart argue with Marge, make Lisa argue with Marge, make Homer argue with Marge, and make Marge wish she said nothing. And that's the end of the event. So we have some tasks. We'll try and quickly go through this because I think this video is long. So for, what's your name? Bill. Oh God, no. For Bill, we've got score home runs. So it'll just be him smacking the ball a bunch of times. Maybe like a little NPC kind of pitches the ball and he just sort of smacks it constantly. Try beat Shelbyville's best pitcher for 4 hours. That'll be at the Shelbyville Stadium. Train students for 8 hours. That will be at the stadium he comes with, Shelbyville Stadium, or it could be the War Memorial Stadium. Could be any stadium. Try out different bats for 12 hours. So it'll be him trying a bat, like swinging a bat, chucking it to the ground, picking up a new one, trying it again, chucking it to the ground, and then like maybe he picks up an umbrella and he realizes, hey, that's not a bat. And then practice for upcoming games for 24 hours. Again, any real stadium that could be at. For Flash Sailor, we got sign baseballs for 60 minutes. That will be him with a baseball, just sort of signing it, and then he chucks it, and then him signing it, and then chucks it. Be signed for a new team for 4 hours. That will be at any stadium, maybe Shelbyville Stadium. Read Springfield's hate mail. So part of this like quest I had, the quest idea for him would be like that he transfers to Shelbyville's team. So he's just been like he just gets a bunch of hate mail from like Springfield fans. Catch balls for 12 hours. It'll be him running up and down the street catching balls. So just a cool little animation there. And then coach the team for 24 hours. That will be at any stadium. For Homer, baseball Homer, we got bat. I don't really know what to call this, but it'll just be him batting balls, like smacking them like really, really hard. So a bunch of balls get chucked at him, maybe by an NPC pitcher again, or like a machine, and he just sort of smacks them constantly. And yeah, I just think that would be a really cool little animation. I mean, it's simple, but I don't see why not. Compete in a game for 4 hours, again, any stadium. Practice his technique for 8 hours. Again, any stadium. Make a new bat. So I think this could be so awesome. So it'll be Homer by any sort of tree. Or maybe like it has to be a particular tree just so the animation's consistent. And the tree gets like zapped by lightning and a branch falls. And then Homer like just sort of stands in front of it. You know, he's like doing something to it. And then like he turns around to on your screen and he's got like a new bat. I just think that would be such an awesome little animation to have. And celebrate victory with team for 24 hours. Again, any stadium. For Wally Kogan, let it all out for 60 minutes. That's him just unbuttoning his shirt and his big belly sort of flops out like it did in the episode. I don't know. I remember that scene quite vividly, so I figured why not have that as an animation. Watch a game for 4 hours. That will be at the stadium. Gather up football fan tourists for 8 hours. That could be anywhere really. Sell phony tickets for 12 hours. So this will be an animation of him with a bunch of tickets for a football event, maybe outside the stadium he comes with, trying to sell them, and little NPCs walk past and ignore him maybe. Or maybe even, no. Actually, you don't even need to have NPCs in half these animations. You could just have him trying to sell tickets outside the stadium. That's fine enough. And then serve time in football jail for 24 hours. That'll be at the Pro Player Stadium that he comes with. For Adrian, we got play football for 60 minutes, so it'll be him in a full sort of football gear, and he'll just have the ball underneath him and running with the ball pretty much. Do his presentation for 4 hours. So my idea for his quest line is that he has to do a presentation on like Springfield's greatest footballer, and maybe he thinks that he is the greatest footballer, or maybe like Nelson bullies him to be like, tell me that I'm Springfield's greatest footballer, something like that. So yeah, do his presentation, go to school for 8 hours. Research for a project for 12 hours. So this will be him pretty much just reading like magazines, like football magazines, or something like that, or books potentially. I know it's not very interesting. I couldn't really think of anything. And then study all night for 24 hours. That'll be at the Brown House maybe. For football Lisa, she's got figure out football isn't her thing or isn't for her for 60 minutes. So this will just be an animation of Lisa running with her football, and she just gets dogpiled by a bunch of like NPC children. She just, yeah. Try out for the team for 4 hours. That will be at the stadium or any sort of field. Lose a game for the team for 8 hours again, any sort of stadium. Argue that girls should be included for 12 hours. So this will be her chucking her hat on the floor in rage and just sort of shouting and screaming. And rest while injuries heal for 24 hours. That'll be the Simpsons house. Basically, her quest line is she argues girls should be included. She's letting the team. And then she finds out that football isn't even her thing anyway because she just gets dogpiled. I'm not trying to like say like, oh no, girls should stay out of football. Like I feel like Lisa as a character probably isn't gonna be great at football. And then we have Chet. Is it Chet? I think that was his name. Brett, Chet, whatever it was. Giving an announcement for 60 minutes, so he'll be him behind a podium, pretty much just giving an announcement. Challenge critics for 4 hours. Try to get a new, again, that could just be anywhere. Try to get a new sponsorship for 8 hours. That'll be at the stadium he comes with. Fight March for 12 hours. So this will be like a really cool animation, because I know you have to include Marge, and often they don't do this, but I figured why not? So I think it should be his animation and not Marge's animation, because Marge has already got some pretty cool animations, so MMA Marge. So I figured this one could be his, because you kind of need him to have this animation, right? So, and he's the premium character, so that's why it makes sense for him to have it. But basically it'll just be him and Marge duking it out in the octagon. And then bet on MMA matches for 24 hours. Again, that could be anywhere. For Boxcar Bob, we have practice his boxing moves for 60 minutes. It'll be him just sort of punching a punching bag. Try get a boxing career for 4 hours. This could be the Dredrick, or it could be anywhere really. Be trained by Tatum for 8 hours. That will be the Dredrick. Sleep rough for 12 hours. So this will be him homeless, like by a bench maybe on a street, like trying to sleep on a bench basically. Pretty sad. And then save up for new boxing gloves for 24 hours. That again will just be at any bench, or if you have the homeless shelter, maybe the homeless shelter. I don't know, something like that. Or at least I'm pretty sure he's heavily implied to be homeless. For MMA Marge, so we have fight competitors. So this is what I was on about. So there would be like this guy here. Just add this guy as an NPC that only appears in her animations, and it will just be her beating the shit out of this guy. I just think that would be so awesome. Protest against MMA for 4 hours, whilst, obviously being a hypocrite, and that will be anywhere really. It could be at the stadium or the house or whatever. Try out new techniques for 8 hours, again, anywhere really, at the stadium maybe. And then train. So this one, I want her to have like different boxing gloves. There was a different style she had earlier on in the episode, and she'll basically just be with similar thing to Boxcar Bob, where she'll just be like sort of hitting a punching bag really, really fast. And then get advice from Tatum for 24 hours. That will be with Dredrick Tatum at the Dredrick. Mr. Ty, we got practice martial arts to fend off robbers. So it'll be him practicing the martial arts, sort of like different, vague martial arts. And again, I know it's not like a big thing of his character, but I had to tie him into this event. And they've done things like this in the past. Like, I know a big thing was, what was his name? The security guard dude and he came with Anchor Management. I forget his name, but the security guard dude. And like one of his animations is to drag like a giant anchor, because he comes with the Anchor Management building. It's so weird. So they've done this in the past, so I figured why not. This is a cool enough time though, because he has that sort of thing where he makes Bart do the whole little karate thing with the door flyers. So there's a loose connection there. Import spices for 4 hours. So it'll be him getting. Maybe part of his thing is that he's trying to run his restaurant. Trying to run his restaurant whilst the sporting event is going on. This is his quest line, and he figures that the food is not the spices that he gets from wherever, they're just not good enough. They're not proper spices. This is something like, I don't know. Maybe this is like it's because with my girlfriend, my partner, she always complains that she'll go to like a restaurant, right, and she'll complain that everything's not spicy enough, or it's not spiced properly. And I don't know, a lot of her friends have the similar thing. She's like friends with a bunch of like Nepalese and Thai people, so I don't know. I imagine it's a similar thing. Fuck knows. Maybe I've got that completely wrong. Run the restaurant for 8 hours. That'll be at his restaurant. Hand out flyers for 12 hours, so that'll be an animation of him just handing out the little door flyers. And then practice recipes for 24 hours, so that will be in his home. And then you've got the Booktooth Boy, his restaurant. The Booktooth Boy, practice karate for 60 minutes. It'll be him in his karate gear, practicing. Learn from Akira for 4 hours. That'll be the martial arts place with Akira if you have him. If you don't have him, it's fine. Go to school for 6 hours. That'll be obviously at the school. Open cans with his tooth. I know I stole this from Gummy Joe. I had no idea what to do, and I'm thinking, oh shit, we got to hone in on that Booktooth. So he's going to be opening cans with his tooth, like Gummy Joe does, and then try get his black belt for 24 hours. Again, that could be any karate place. And then for Karate Bar, we got distribute door advertisements. So that was this here. So I'll have a huge coat stand, and he'll just be like, putting the door advertisements on all this. Fend off bullies for 4 hours, that'll be at the school. Fight comic book guy for 8 hours, that'll be at the karate building. Chop watermelons for 12 hours as an animation. It'll be him chopping watermelons. What I really want here, and I know they can't do it, is advertise Butterfingers for 12 hours. But I know they can't do that, so I mean they could probably do like advertise candy, and it would just be him like like a generic candy advertising that, and maybe they could tie it into like maybe like Mr. Ty's asked him to like sell this like imported Taiwanese candy or something. I don't know. And then look for a new master for 24 hours. That'll be anywhere really. So anyway, that's my Sporty Simpsons event. Sorry this video was very long. This was just an update that I care a lot about this. I think there's a lot of cool things they could definitely add, and I think I haven't even touched the surface of what they could do with a sporting event. I think there's so much. Like, bear in mind, I've only gone with 4 themes, 4/5. I know the MMA/boxing is like, I know MMA and boxing aren't the same thing, but I had to sort of tie them together. But like I said, I barely touched the surface. There's so many different sports that they could add, and they could sort of add things from. There's definitely a lot they could do with this theme. It's such a universal and versatile theme that they could just do so many cool things with, and it's a shame that they haven't really properly touched on it. I mean, yeah, it's awesome to get mini events here and there, but I really would like a major event based around sports. I just think there's just so much potential. But anyway, guys, tell me your thoughts. What do you think about this event? How would you improve it? Maybe tell me what other sports you would like to see as a theme. And I shall see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.